Vice President of the European Parliament just finished a 3-day investigation in China. He believes the communist regime is certain to collapse and hopes that every member of the regime quits the Communist Party. Let's go to our Hong Kong correspondent for more.
During a visit to China, Vice President of the European Parliament, Edward МакМилан-Скот, met various Chinese diplomats, experts, intellectuals, and non-government members in Beijing. He is the first high-level Western official to personally meet Falun Gong practitioners inside China in order to learn the facts of the persecution. He says the Chinese communist regime has not changed in the last 10 years and says it's a tyrannical, autocratic, and extreme system. 10 years ago, as a member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs for the EU, МакМилан-Скот investigated the Chinese communist regime's political practices. 10 years later, МакМилан-Скот says he thinks that things have only gotten worse.
10 years later, it saddens me to report that China remains a brutal, arbitrary, paranoid system in which free speech does not exist, in which freedom of thought is constrained, in which freedom of religion is severely curtailed, and where the process of reform in political and social terms is frankly glacial.
After meeting with Falun Gong practitioners, МакМилан-Скот says that the practitioners have verified to him various forms of abuses, including illegal detention, beatings, torture, and a series of systematic crackdowns.
I've already said the experiences they related to me, which leave me very, very saddened, not just for them, but for anybody else in China who tries to adhere to a religion which is repressed by the regime.
МакМилан-Скот sees the current wave of resignations from the CCP as an important factor for the future development of China.
And really to know whether it is true that 10.5 million people have torn up their Communist Party cards, but if they have, it's just not enough. I would hope that 100% of the current membership of the Communist Party of China would tear up their cards if they knew the truth.
He also said people need to take immediate action to expose the wrongdoing of the CCP regime.
And I think this is where more information and where the human rights organizations of the world need to unite in advance of the Olympics of 2008 in a special focus on China. It is, after all, the biggest and the most repressive regime left on earth.